What's up, Ninja Clan? Welcome to some more coverage of Star Wars Unlimited. Today, what I want to talk about is my experience that I had at locals last night, what I'm currently thinking about the game, and why I think that you should give it a shot. So, first, I want to go down and we're going to take a look at what I played yesterday and kind of talk about it. So, yesterday I went to Locals as my first unlimited event outside of the pre-release that I went to a couple weeks ago, and the store that I went to. Shout out to Midgard up in Derry, New Hampshire. They had a bunch of pre-release boxes still left over, and so we decided to do pre-release style sealed. So you got a pre-release box. Inside was 6 packs, and then you had to make a 30-card deck out of the 6 packs that you got. So based on the pulls that I got in mine, I decided to go with Leia and Kestro City to give me cunning and aggression as well as the heroic aspect so that I could build my deck kind of around that. I ended up winning all of my games with the exception of one game that we ended up playing incorrectly, and so we kind of scrapped that from the record because the way that we played it incorrectly would have been game breaking. So I'm not going to go over every card, but I am going to hit a few highlights really quickly. So Gorilla Attack Pod is such a good card. Whew. So it's a 6 cost, which seems like a lot, but you get to 6 pretty quick. It's a 4/6 and it has grit. What does grit mean? Well, grit is for every damage that's on this unit, it gets +1/+0. So when it gets down to 1 health left, that's 5. It makes it a 9/1. It also has this great ability when played. If a base has 15 or more damage on it, ready this unit. So essentially you wait until late game, you put a lot of pressure on your opponent to get damage onto their base to get them up to at least 15. If not your base at 15, and this is kind of a comeback mechanic, I guess. And then you can play Gorilla Attack Pod, and then immediately get to ready it, and it's immediately able to swing. And it is a rebel unit, so you can use Leia's effect to attack with it as well as another rebel unit out on the board. So this card was very good for me. Another card that I want to talk about is U-Wing Reinforcement. So U-Wing Reinforcement is search the top 10 cards of your deck for up to 3 units with a combined cost of 7 or less, and play each of them for free. So this is a great late game card when you don't have a lot of cards in your deck or in your hand. You can play this down, draw basically up to 3 units with 7 costs. So if you're running low cost units or you just need to get something on the board because you're behind, this is a great card. Let's see what else was. Those were the 2 main ones that helped me kind of secure the win. I didn't get to play too many of the other cards that I wanted to play, such as Ezra Bridger and Zeb. Put them down here so there's not a reflection. So these were 2 cards that I really wanted to play. They're both rebels, which synergizes really nicely with Leia. Zeb is a 5/5. When he completes an attack, if the defender that he attacked was defeated, I can deal 4 more damage to another ground unit on the board, which is really strong, again, especially with Leia being able to swing with 2 rebel units in the same activation. Ezra is less good, I guess. He's a 3/4 for 3. And in this case, I didn't have the cunning aspect, so I would have had to have paid 5 for him anyway. But I did need to fill my card with other rebels. So based on my pulls and the decision that I made to play rebels, I ended up having to fill my deck with something. Other than that, there's not really too many other honorable mentions. Obviously, General Dodonna is great. He gives +1/+1 to all of your rebels while he's on the board. Kind of forces your opponent to have to deal with him, because otherwise your board just gets incredibly strong. Partisan Insurgent, because I was playing red, I get a raid to Rebel Trooper. You also have things like let's see here. Those were really the main ones, to be honest. Fleet Lieutenant is great in a Rebel deck. It's a 3/3 for 3, and he has, when played, you can attack with a unit, so he kind of does what Leia does by letting you attack with something when you play it. And if it's a Rebel unit that you attack with, that Rebel unit gets +2/+0. So definitely a card that I would personally run in a Rebel deck, which is something that I'm thinking about doing as a main deck to start the game. So that's kind of the first thing that I wanted to talk about, was what my thought process was when I was making the deck. I am by no means an expert. Next, I want to talk to you about the pre-release kits themselves. A lot of people online are saying that they're stacked to have better draws than a standard booster box, to get people more excited about playing when they play in a pre-release. Other people say, hey, I opened 50 pre-release boxes and I didn't get anything crazy. I had a crazy evening. Okay, so in my first pre-release box, the one that I opened to play in the tournament, I pulled... Let me grab them real quick. The first card that I pulled was a Boba Fett unit card, which, if you know anything about the game, currently, at the time of this recording, this is the second most expensive card in the game. He's a 3/3 for 3, and he has an ability on attack. This unit, on attack, if this unit is attacking an exhausted unit that didn't enter play this round, so a unit that has been on the board, it deals 3 damage to the defender. So essentially he deals 6 damage if what he's attacking is exhausted, which is crazy for a 3-cost character, right? But the excitement didn't end there, because also in my pre-release box, I pulled a Showcase Chirrut. Let me zoom in on this. So here was my big pull from that pre-release box. Now keep in mind there was 11 players. All 11 players had a pre-release box. I was the only one that pulled a Showcase. Did I say Enchanted? I have Lord Kana on the brain. Showcase, Enchanted, they're essentially the same thing. So Chirrut, not a character that I would play. Although, now that I have one, maybe I will. So when the event was over with, everybody in the store was talking about the deck pods that also released alongside the game, which I did end up buying. And if you guys are interested in seeing a review of that, let me know down in the comments below. I would happily review that for you. So I decided to go back to the front, buy one of those deck pods because everybody was talking about it. And again, the store still had pre-release boxes left. I decided to buy one just to try my luck. And sure enough, I then hit the Sabine Showcase, which, if you don't know a ton about the game right now, she is the second best leader. I say best in air quotes. The community feels she is the second best leader, and therefore she is the second most expensive Showcase in the game at the moment. Again, not a leader that I was looking for. So I've pulled 3 Showcases now in my experience with Star Wars Unlimited. None of them are the characters that I'd like to main in this set. I really want to main either Leia or Han. So I was really hoping if I was going to pull a Showcase, it would be one of them. And instead, I have Sabine, Chirrut, and Thrawn. If you haven't seen my initial pack opening that I did, go check that out. And it's a lot of showcasing fun, if you will. So that's the next thing that I wanted to talk to you about. Take that information for what it's worth. If you have the opportunity to buy a pre-release box, I wouldn't sleep on them because you just never know. I did go back to the front of the store after pulling the Sabine and bought a 3rd pre-release box because I was like, man, what kind of luck do I really have today? And my luck did run out. I didn't get anything from that. But I think that the purchases overall were worth it. So I spent about $90 US for the 3, and I walked away with with these 3 cards, which more than makes up for the cost. All right, the last thing that I want to talk about is local play in your store and why I think you should be going. On top of the obvious, and I say obvious because obviously you can tell my excitement. Apart from that, I really think that the game has strong legs to last for a while. I think that the aspects and deck building is a lot of fun in sealed and in draft especially, which your local stores, if they're supporting the game, should be running those type of events for you. And the last thing is because there are unique promos that you can get by participating in your locals. So I want to show you the promo pack that I got. Everybody that participated got a promo pack. Inside there are 3 cards. None of the cards are new cards. So I'm going to show you the original version so everybody knows. And if you don't know by now, go check out my video showing the starter decks. So everybody knows that there are starter deck exclusive cards. Here we have R2 and Luke's lightsaber. These are starter deck exclusive cards. The only place you can get these cards currently is the starter decks, except for one other place. And you notice that they're just standard cards, right? Black bordered cards. If you want the hyperspace versions of these exclusive cards, you do have a chance of getting them at your local store in those promo packs that I was talking about. So in my promo pack, of the 3 cards, 2 are starter deck exclusive cards. They do have a symbol down here at the bottom, which I guess represents that they're promo cards. They're also numbered 1 to 20 because there are 20 possible cards that you can pull from inside those packs. So 2 of my cards were hyperspace versions of cards that are exclusive to the starter decks, which was really cool. And then you also have the opportunity of alt arts, which are the first alt arts in the game outside of your showcases. In this case, I got the alt art for my guy, General Dodonna. So here you can see the alternate art. It does not have the hyperspace like lines around the border like this does, but it does have like this faded out border. There's also like a Sabine and a Yoda. Those were ones that I saw. There's an A-Wing. I can't remember all of them, and they all have this fuzzed out border, just different colors based on what type of card it is. So Sabine, for example, she has a red faded out border since she is an aggression card. But overall, I think that having this type of prize support just for participating, right? There was nothing else on the line. Everybody was just having fun. Opening the packs for this game is super satisfying, even after you've bought a ton of them. In other games, you buy a ton of packs, and then you start to get repeats of, your commons and your uncommons, and you have a bunch of bulk left over. Even when you reach that point, opening these are still really fun. The packs being paper, they're just really easy to open, really satisfying, as well as, the chance of being able to pull, like, your hyperspace versions of cards that you don't have. And then, of course, if you're insanely lucky, like I have been, you can get some showcases as well. So that's really all I wanted to talk about. I definitely think that this game needs more attention. It's getting a lot, but I think it needs more. If you are a fan of Star Wars, if you are a fan of games, if you are a fan of trading card games, I think there is a place for you here with this game. So check with your local stores, see if they have it in stock, see if they're running organized play. If they are, go check it out. Like I said, there's very little competitiveness when it comes to drafting and sealed. Lots of players are going to those events because they're a little more laid back. You don't have to worry about meta decks and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's really that was really the purpose of this video. I appreciate the entire Ninja Clan tuning in to watch this. As I always like to say, make sure you take care of yourself, take care of each other, play your games, paint your miniatures, and I'll see you in the next video.